This week, I go to the same thing that I finished last week with relative ease and just completely get destroyed. I don't think that's a good way to make your game, you know? Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cactushands Game, and I'm Cactushands Clayton. And today, we're going to be talking about the new updates to Torghast and Shadowlands. So, as any of you guys who've been playing World of Warcraft Shadowlands know, there has been some craziness going on with Torghast in the first few weeks. So, to start off with, I think Torghast was too easy, I think, so they buffed it. And then at this point, they have nerfed the buffs, but the whole community is in an uproar, and I don't know exactly where people are at one way or the other, but I just wanted to give you guys my opinion on the situation. Let you guys know I'm an Outlaw Rogue. My item level is 186 at this point. It was 186 at the end of last week, which is when I got my highest clears. And I just wanted to give you guys my opinion on the whole situation. As a casual, I wouldn't call myself a casual elitist, but I would call myself above the average casual. I've gamed forever. I've gamed my whole life. I've played MMO since I was 13, 14 years old. I don't remember exactly when I started. It's been a long ride, but MMOs have been my jam. But I wanted to let you guys know why I felt like this week was a complete letdown for Torghast. So, I spent all last week getting my PvP gear ranked up to 184. Any of you guys who know who were playing saw the Battleground event, made it a lot easier to do that. It was the first week that was available. So I felt really accomplished in getting my item level up. So what do? Monday night, 10 p.m., the last thing I did before bed, before the reset, was go back in and challenge Torghast to try to get up higher. The first 2 or 3 weeks, the first 2 weeks, I could only get done with floor 2 on my Outlaw Rogue, but my item level was like 170. So I watched the Bellular video and saw for sure that item level affected Torghast and knew, okay, I need to hit it at the end of this week after I get all my new pieces. So I go in there Monday night, guns blazing, ready to pump those numbers up and push forward into the dungeon, and I get done with floor 3 pretty easily, so I try floor 4. I get done with floor and do it on both wings. So I was straight up pumped that I was able to get done with floor 4 Monday night. I went to bed on a high note, just super stoked. And I woke up Tuesday morning to go in again and find out floor 4 had been completely buffed. And it was almost nigh unclearable on my rogue, it felt like. I tried multiple times to get new powers. There's some kind of stupid fucking soft lock in the game where if you leave the door, you get the same powers again. So they need to fix that, because why would it be a roguelike? Do I have to just run in and die first to get new powers? That's stupid. So just make it so if I get bad powers on my first 2, I can walk out the door and come back in. And I know they don't want people cheesing to get the best power possible for their run, but it's a fucking roguelike. Like, what's the point of having different powers if you can't do stuff like that to give yourself an edge, you know? I'm willing to sacrifice this run and try a new one, and then it doesn't even work. So I went in Tuesday morning and got just annihilated by floor 4. I tried my best to get through the one that had the assassin who's chasing you the whole way. I figured out the trick with the mall rats, kiting one of those around to make him not spawn on you. But in the end, I got to the boss and I just couldn't handle him. He was just too strong. I didn't get the right anima powers, which is a consequence of the game, and I wiped. So, discouraged as I may be, I wasn't defeated yet. I tried the other wing, whichever the top wing is, the harder one this week. I don't remember what the 2 wings are called. Who cares? But I tried the harder of the 2 wings, the one, and the second boss of the second floor. He stopped me in my tracks. I guess he's a caster. I think that's one of the ones that directly got nerfed this week. He stopped me dead in my tracks. And I know I'm not that bad of a gamer. I just completed this content the night before, and it's that much harder based on, what, my anima power disparity? I don't think that makes much sense, guys. So, this might be a casual opinion, this might not be the popular opinion, but I feel like they can keep it hard, but they just need to have a nice progression through the levels, Don't make it so that floor 4 is harder this week than it was last week. That's stupid. That doesn't make any sense. Floor 8 needs to be the end-all be-all. That's the hard fucking content that you put there for the people who did get their mythic raid. I didn't even get normal raid done, How am I supposed to have the gear to do this if I don't have the normal raid done? And that's on me, I know that, but I worked really hard to get the gear that I did have and felt like, I earned my clear on the floors the week before, it shouldn't be that much of a disparity from week to week. So I was personally excited to see the nerfs come from Blizzard because I felt like we got sneak buffed overnight and I went from being able to do it to not. And once again, guys, I'm on Rogue, which if you pay any attention to the forums or the community, Rogue is one of the classes that some people seem to be having a hard time with. Saw something in there about higher item level rogues than me not even be able to clear floor 2. So I don't know if that was this week or last week, but either way, I was really excited to see that I wasn't the only one having problems. Makes me feel not so bad at the game. But yeah, guys, I don't think it was a good thing what they did. Whatever they did in between weeks to make it stronger was stupid. Like, you've got the higher level floors for difficulty. Whatever this scaling is, I think I saw somewhere on the forums, scaling to match what power level we get week to week. Who decides what power level we get week to week? That's just fucking dumb. Like, that's dumb, guys. Don't do that, you know? Floor 1, 2, 3, 4 should be the same difficulty from week to week. It shouldn't be a jump in fucking power based on some imaginary power that only 10% of the player base got this week, you know? That's stupid. Like, I've got heroic level dungeon gear, and I can't complete the first half of the... Not even the first half anymore. The first third floor of the fucking dungeon with heroic level gear? That's stupid. Where's the fun in that? Not to mention, if you're hard-headed like me, you're going to fight for as long as you can and waste all your lives, so... Each wipe was about an hour long, you know? And that's time waste. It's straight up time waste. So it's a feel-bad kind of a update from Blizzard. So I feel like it was a good idea for them to roll it back like they did. And I think the general sentiment on the forum, I'm just looking at Wowhead over here. I was looking at the comments down in the bottom. I went through all 13 pages of comments this morning. And the general consensus is that it's a good thing. And I'm not sure that the people who were arguing against it aren't just trolling, you know? It seems like trolling is almost as big as constructiveness in WoW, you know? Someone has a problem with the game, and any kind of problem, whether it's where's this quest or what do I do here? What is that? You know, you see in trade chat, you see uninstall or you got to buy Shadowlands or just get your money back or quit, stop paying your sub, you know. It's just a major trolling community. And so it seems like maybe some of these people are trolling, you know. They know that they're the elitist. They're the ones who can get it done. And so they're just trying to rub it in everyone's face that they get it done and you can't. That could be the situation. I don't know for sure. But it seems like most people are on the same side as me. But how do you guys feel about this? Is this a good change? Is this a bad change? There's obviously a whole list of changes, and they might have gone too far, but what they should have done to begin with is just not do sneak buffs overnight. Whatever the scaling is bad. I mean, wait an actual month or two for people to actually be able to clear the content other than the 1%, and then give it a buff if everyone's just face rolling it. But even at the end of week 2, with as much gear as a normal player, I would call myself a normal player. I even went into raid, but guess what? We finished one boss of the raid and 20 people, and not everyone's going to get gear, so I sure didn't. So, I mean, I got all my pieces. I got my legendary crafted. I bought a piece of conquest gear, despite knowing that it's going to be better to save up for the weapon on week 2 anyway. I just bought it to get the extra armor, extra stamina, because I needed it to complete the content that I wanted to play. Torghast has been the major draw for me for this expansion pack, and, I mean, it still kind of is. I'm leveling up my Death Knight, so that way... Hopefully I can actually solo up to floor 8 because Rogue is so damn squishy. Which brings me to my final point. This is going on a little bit longer than I anticipated, I think, but my final point is that Rogue's main crowd control abilities are completely useless in Torghast. Like, what's the point of having Blind and Dismantle and all these sweet crowd control abilities to be able to handle a whole pack of mobs when you're squishy if all that's going to happen while they're crowd controlled is they get that stacking buff that make them one-shot you at the end of it? What's the design philosophy behind that? Play smart, but don't play too smart, because if you play too smart, you're going to get one-shotted. Like, what, guys? Like, I mean, think about how it affects your toolkit. Does it just make it that much too easy if you can crowd control the freaking mobs? Like, I think that's a completely poor design philosophy, and it would be as simple as that stacking debuff or that stacking buff that the mob gets, whatever torment it is, that doesn't start until they're uncrowd controlled. Make it so that if they're under the effect of crowd control like that, they don't get that buff. And I can, as I'm talking about this, I can see where that would be a problem because of classes like my Death Knight that can just put that Icy Veins or whatever on it and make it slow the whole time. That would completely nullify the debuff. But guess what? If you want to spend your time debuffing every single one of them, it's probably going to come back to bite you in the butt anyway, because they're going to start undebuffing and you're not going to have your moves to hit them. So it's not going to be that big of a benefit. So I think that's just a completely poor design philosophy, and I think it needs to be addressed, you guys. Like, there's just some unfun things about it, and not everything has to be fun. Not everything has to be rainbows and lollipops and popsicles and whatnot, but, you know, the content could be at a point where it doesn't feel just disheartening week to week, you know? Like, I was super stoked to get in there, finally cleared floor 2 after a bunch of tries in the first week with greens on, you know, guys. Like, I didn't understand that it was an item level thing, so I learned, I got better, I came back, and I got further. But then this week, I go to the same thing that I finished last week with relative ease and just completely get destroyed. I don't think that's a good way to make your game, you know? That you have the 8 floors for a reason. Just make them go harder along the way, and make it so floor 8's damn near impossible. That you gotta have the heroic or mythic frickin' Nyalotha gear, or not Nyalotha, the mythic frickin' Denathrius gear to be able to clear it. If people want a challenge, there's your challenge. Floor 7, it's 90% people can't do it, and floor 8, 99% of people can't do it. Make it so only the 1% can do floor 8. I don't give a shit. But don't make it so that from week to week, I can't clear the stuff I could do last week. And not in the sense that I didn't get the right anima powers, but in the sense that it's just nigh undoable because of whatever this buff was. So all you people who are hating on this rollback, think about it that way. You know, that's where I'm at. Just think about it from the other perspective of all of us who don't have a whole crew to run with, who were doing it solo, who are an average item level of 186. I'm not slacking. I'm not in the 170s, but I'm not in the 200s either, you know? There's a whole range of item levels, and don't just wall off everyone who's below the curve, I guess you would call it. So that's pretty much where I stand on the situation, guys. How do you guys feel about Torghast? Are you happy about the changes? Are you disappointed with the changes? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this content, leave a like, do all that shit, whatever, guys. But I hope to see some of you guys in the comments telling me how you feel about Torghast. But until the next one, Cactushands is out. Peace.